welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Early Wine, and I'm getting a fall taste in my mouth.
Yes.
I know it's not here yet because fall doesn't really start till like what, September 22nd?
Something, but in my heart it starts like August the 15th.
In my heart, it's right now.
It's back to school time. It might as well be fall.
I love fall.
Do you like pumpkin spice stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Some of it I do. Some of it I feel is a little bit strong. But
like scents?
No, I love the scents. I like if I can smell them, but like flavored, like pumpkin spice coffee or pumpkin spice. I mean, everything is. Yeah. I mean, I can't think off the top of my head other things that come other than coffee, but I know it's out there.
My favorite things is my granny used to make pumpkin bars, and they were homemade pumpkin bars, and then it had like that cream cheese icing on it.
Have you ever had my mother's?
No, my Jim makes them. He's got Granny's recipe. It's in a little sheet cake.
Yes,
Gosh,
that's how my mom does it.
Good.
Man, it's so good.
It is good.
And it's like, don't even get me started on them pumpkin bars. I'll eat like 10 of them. I don't eat them.
Oh, they're fantastic. And Granny actually gave Jim her recipe for that.
That's
Jim
sweet.
loves it. He'll make them like if we do a potluck or anything, he'll make them. Which, speaking of that, what are we going to do a potluck at church?
I don't know. We need to get one planned. They did have one recently, but I wasn't able to go to it.
Yeah,
I wasn't able to.
Wait a minute. The one that's over last Sunday or whatever?
Yeah, it was hamburgers and hot dogs.
That's not what I'm talking about.
You're talking about the ham and all of the good sides.
I want a church potluck, because like a lot of times, like if you have control over your weight, everything's fine till you find Jesus, and then once you go and you do potlucks, that's when everything went haywire.
I know.
Yeah, because I started doing, oh my gosh, when we went to the Methodist church, I started over at the Methodist church at Clay City. Loved that church. It was great. And, oh my gosh, Tim Hostetler, he loved to cook, and we would have potlucks. Miles and miles, and then we go to the Christian church. It seemed like Methodists over at Clay City were having them a lot. We had a potluck once a month. They loved them, right?
I think our church should do it once a month. I think it's great for fellowship, getting to know other people.
Yeah, and we used to do it over there a lot, and it was great and everything. Then I came to the Christian church, and it was like they didn't have them very much, but then they had them. They weren't that great. I'm like, man, the Christians don't know.
The Methodists can really cook.
The Methodists can really cook. What's wrong with these Christians? And then Beth took over. The last few potlucks have been, because I don't think everybody brought cheesy potatoes. Yeah. Back in the time, back it was like, well,
you kind of have to, when you put one together, you kind of have to put a little, in somebody's ear, just kind of like, hey, just by the way, what are you thinking about bringing?
Yeah.
Just to kind of make sure there's a variety not just like everything's the same.
And the last two potlucks there have been, I don't think there was two things of cheesy potatoes.
No.
I think it was fantastic. And I even made that sweet potato casserole.
Yeah, that's good.
And it was good.
When you go to
and it's homemade. I made it. I even peeled them suckers. I peeled and boiled them sweet potatoes.
Wow, you did the real thing.
I did the real thing. Next time I'm not going to. I'm going
to buy the yams, the canned yams.
I love those canned yams.
I do too. I will make those for when there's a funeral dinner. I'll make that dish, and I use the canned yams.
And I've come to, not everybody likes sweet potatoes, and I don't understand that.
You know why they don't?
No.
Because they've never tried them.
Well, they can't. They can't. They're good.
That's got to be the only reason. If you don't like them, it's because you haven't tried them.
Oh,
because they are so good.
Yeah. Paige always makes that sweet potato casserole every time she comes to the house. So I kind of mimicked what I thought she did.
My Aunt Lori makes a really good one. But yeah. So when you go to a potluck, like what's the one thing on the potluck that you are going for? Not dessert. We can talk about that later.
I was getting ready to say
out of the meal, the real meal.
Out of the real meal, what's the one thing that I go for? I love all the cold salads.
Oh, do you?
Because I don't make those.
Yeah.
And I love the cold salads. When I go to that, and there's that broccoli
salad like they have at IGA.
Yes, I love that. I like the cold sides, but I'm not gonna lie. I like the cheesy potatoes, and I like the one somebody makes them, but they don't. Because I make mine using the little cube potatoes, but they use like the shredded. One of the ladies at the church makes that, and I do like the cheesy potatoes, but I like it all.
Mine is the broccoli and cheese casserole. That's my number one thing.
I love broccoli.
Love that.
Broccoli rice?
Yes.
Oh, yum.
Yeah. And then number two would probably be sweet potatoes.
Yeah, sweet potatoes. I make that sweet. I make a good broccoli rice casserole too.
Yeah. Oh, you do?
I can make that. I can make that very well.
I don't. I've only tried to make that once, and it was fine, but I didn't feel like it was as good as like some of the other ladies that bring it in. Like Alice Castlery makes a really good one.
Yeah, I make a good broccoli rice casserole. It's one of my. I can't.
Yeah,
that's
Ann
the
Howe
thing about
makes a really good one.
There's
some
can
ladies
cook.
that have it down pat.
I can cook. I just don't do it that much because I also like to eat, so I'm not going to cook all the time.
Right.
But I can cook. What I make really well, and I make that. I just don't make the cold salads because I don't like chopping up all that stuff.
Yeah.
What else is it that I like? Oh, and I even like a twist in those because I've done this before. And like we were having like ham or whatever, like I even made like the night before, made a big old pot of spaghetti because I like throwing a zinger in there too.
Yeah, yeah. I've been to potlucks where there's been a lasagna added, which you wouldn't think would add, but it was good. It was a good add-in. It was good.
Yeah, and because it was like in a crock pot that didn't have early wine on it, and I did it, and it was good, and it was because it was like overnight. You know, I made it the day before, then plucked. Oh gosh, it was so good to add a little extra to it. And there was somebody that was just like somebody said, "Who brings spaghetti to a potluck?" And I went, I did it. And she went, "Why would you make spaghetti to go with ham?" I said, "Look at everybody's plate."
Yeah.
I said, "It's called a zinger."
Yeah.
I threw a zinger in there.
Good job.
And the kids loved it. The kids were like, spaghetti.
Yeah. The kids love pasta. I mean, when we do a potluck, I always make a lot of macaroni and cheese. Because if there's any kids in the crowd, they're going to eat the macaroni and cheese.
But yeah, I did. I threw that. So I'm not I might make two things at the next potluck.
Okay.
I will make my sweet potato casserole. So put me down. And I will make a pot of spaghetti too and put it in there too.
Okay.
Just to throw people off.
I need to get on planning one.
Yeah, you do. Because you can do it anytime you want, right?
Well, yeah, we should just have a fall get together.
Yeah, let's do that. Before
and then all of our listeners are going to want to come to attend. We'll have to once we plan it. We'll have to say the date because you're more than welcome to come to the Christian church.
Yeah, because we always have a ton of food, and then you've got the desserts. Oh gosh, Alice Castlery, that woman. She makes good pies, but yeah, she makes great pie. And Mary Kinley used to, for my birthday every year before she couldn't do it, he made me I'm a chocolate pie connoisseur. I love everything. I love chocolate pie. Is my favorite.
Really, chocolate pie is one of my favorite too.
My all-time favorite is chocolate. I'm going to go with anything pudding based.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go with anything cream cheese. Like that chocolate. Dang, I'm getting hungry.
I know. Well, talking about food makes me want to tell you about this thing I ate over the last week. I had a business trip to Missouri, and there is a ice cream place around the corner from my hotel. And I love ice cream. I'm like an ice cream connoisseur. I always have to try it. I really like hard ice cream. I don't really like soft serve. Okay, so I'm always looking for like new flavors of hard ice cream. And there was a Baskin Robbins there, and their Baskin Robbins doesn't always have the same flavors, so they change out their flavors.
Oh, okay.
So, and it's not just like your basic flavors. Like there's always different ones. So like the one I had last time I was at a Baskin Robbins, they didn't have that this time, and there was new ones. And I had one that was pineapple, marshmallow, coconut. It had just a little bit of coconut in it. It was mainly pineapple and marshmallow, but it tasted exactly like my Grandma Rose's overnight salad that she used to bring to all of our holiday meals. Have you ever had overnight salad?
No, what's that?
My mom makes it now. Well, you have to make it the night before, hence the name overnight salad. And I do have her recipe, but I don't have it memorized. But basically, it's kind of one of those salad, like a cold salad, and it's got marshmallow, it's got pineapple in it, and honestly, I don't remember everything else that's in it, but it sits up overnight. It's not got Jell-O in it. It's just creamy and marshmallowy. It's really, really good. If you like pineapple, you would love it. It's really good. It's just Grandma's pineapple or Grandma's overnight salad is what everyone calls it. But this ice cream from Baskin Robbins tasted just like it. It was like it was amazing. It was so good.
Interesting. Because I like that pistachio stuff, fluff, or with like the green with the marshmallow. Yeah. And I even like it when they throw pineapple in that. I like pineapple.
It's a similar texture to that.
Is it? I would like it then. Yeah, that would be really, really good. I had a salad the other night, and it was like an Asian salad, and it was really good. But I kind of, because I didn't like the ginger dressing that was with it, but it was like coleslaw mix, and this would make a great potluck too, because it's a cold salad. So it's the coleslaw mix, just the cabbage stuff. And then it had mandarin oranges, shaved. It had chicken, mandarin oranges, shaved almonds, and dried cranberries in it. That was all mixed up. And then instead of using, because I didn't like the ginger dressing, I did the raspberry vinaigrette on that sucker. Yum.
Wow. I'm not sure I would like it because I don't like anything raspberry, and I don't like mandarin oranges.
Oh, you may not like it,
but I can pick those out.
But I was thinking to myself, this would make a great potluck salad because it's not going to get mushy. That cabbage is going to stay.
I love a good coleslaw. I make good coleslaw.
I've never made coleslaw.
Oh,
but this is like I said, it's an Asian salad, and I'm thinking you could even jazz that baby up, throw some crushed granola in there.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Oh yeah, so it might be. You got to get the.
Okay, so on our last episode, Stacey and I talked about if we hadn't named our show, by the way, with Beth and Stacey, we should have named it "Keep It Simple" with Beth and Stacey because we like to keep things simple. But picture this. Sicily. No, picture this. We start a cooking show. There we go.
Oh my God!
We're going to call it "Keep It Simple" with Beth and Stacey.
Keep it simple.
Yeah. We'll have to throw one of those in every so often. We'll hook you up with some good recipes.
Could we do that?
We can do it.
Let's do it.
Let's ask.
Like, what do you mean, like cooking show?
I don't know. We'd have to figure out the logistics. But man, we could be the next pioneer women.
We could be.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
I am the queen of doctoring up. I'm also that, well, if this is good, well, this
will be even better.
Because as I was eating this salad last night, I'm like, ooh, you could throw some granola in there. This would make, I'm like, ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Then I was like, ooh, I wonder what feta cheese. I was like, my mind was going crazy.
On a past episode, Stacey and I talked about how much we hated to cook at home. I will say that I don't like cooking on a daily basis for people that always gripe about what I'm fixing.
Yeah, that's different.
But I do like cooking for people and making like fun recipes, like for potlucks and things like that.
Yeah, see, I do it like on Sunday night with my small group.
Yeah.
I made my first ever homemade beef stroganoff. Stroganoff that wasn't Hamburger Helper. Like for my family, I would just.
Did you use like a round steak meat or sirloin?
I used
roast.
I used roast, and I cooked that baby all day long. It was good. Stephen Smith was like. He loves beef stroganoff. It's one of his favorites. He said it was one of the best beef stroganoffs he's ever eaten.
Wow. Look at you. Maybe that'll be on episode 1 of Keep It Simple with Beth and
Simple.
Stacey.
And then if it's like, if we would say keep it simple, stupid, it would be kiss.
Yeah, kiss.
Kiss. Even keep it simple is kiss.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Today on Kiss.
Look at
I don't know. My brain's going.
Oh gosh. Okay, let's start this show off with an ad.
I've got my fall brain going on.
What have we got?
Well, I picked this ad. It's a Coca-Cola ad.
Oh,
but look at this. I love this. Be really refreshed. Drive in for a Coke. What is the only place that you can you even do that anymore? Is a Rally's where you can drive up?
Yeah, I think you can at a Rally's.
I just love this ad. It was like, it's just a brighten every bite with Coke. Only Coca-Cola gives you the cheerful lift, which I have to agree because I'm a Diet Coke connoisseur. I love it. The cold, crisp taste, no wonder it is real refreshment. Anytime, anywhere you're driving, pause for a Coke. Sign of good taste. But I love this because they're on a date and he's wearing a suit and tie.
I was getting ready to say that.
I'm going to entirely love that car.
Yep.
They are eating one of my favorite things. BLT Club, which I'm probably going to have to do for lunch.
Nobody ever puts olives on top of their sandwiches anymore.
No, but I think they should start that too.
I don't know.
And look how cute he is. I mean, he just reminded me of Richie Cunningham. And
he does.
I should have been, of course, I understand if I would have been a teenager in the 50s, I might be dead now, so I love my 80s. But man, to go back to that car, that time.
Look at the chick in the back with the long skirt and the tucked-in shirt.
She just doesn't have roller skates on.
No, she doesn't, but that's okay. I kind of wish the 50s style would come back.
Like real.
Me too. I could totally rock that. And in fact, our company's having a 50s style party in September, and I'm already thinking about my outfit.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But I got that because I'm like, look at him. They got to be on a little date.
And her big collar on her dress. What's that called? Like a Peter Pan collar?
I believe so. She kind of reminds me a little bit of who was the Flying Nun?
Yeah.
Still Magnolias. Sally Field.
And
he reminds me of Richie Cunningham. If Richie Cunningham and Sally Field were
together in the 50s drinking Coke and eating BLTs.
Coke and eating BLTs.
Maybe they were the ones that modeled for this because these are actually illustrations. I don't think these are actually photographs.
No, I don't think they are either.
So,
but does that not look at their perfectly white teeth? I don't know. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just was like, so many times I pick the ads not for what we're talking about. Sometimes I do because they're funny, but it's if the picture catches me, it's like, oh man, I long for that time.
Sign of good taste.
Sign of good taste.
Yeah, I like that.
And I love Diet Coke. I am a Coke. If I pick, I'm going to pick I love Diet Mountain Dews. I love the Mountain Dew Zeros and the Coke Zeros and stuff like that. But if I'm going for the brown soda, I'm going to hit that Diet Coke. I'm not picking a Pepsi.
Yeah, I do like Pepsi. I'm okay with
that.
I
will drink it if it's there, but if I'm going to go right to the... What is it? I like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. That's a Coke ad, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a Coke ad.
I like to buy the world a Coke and keep it company. Yeah. That's the song I sing, and we're going to take a commercial break.
Okay, on that note, we'll be back.
We will be right back.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. We have an interesting show planned today. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Lawson family of the Flora area. And I say area because they weren't really in Flora. They were in some very small, tiny, forgotten about communities that were here in Clay County.
Okay.
And the first one that they lived in was a town named after one of your favorite stores. Or maybe one of your favorite stores was named after this town.
Cato.
Or maybe they're not even related.
Cato.
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 C-A-T-O.
Yeah, I bet my store was named after it.
Probably. We're going to go with that.
It's my favorite store in the whole world. Fixing to take a trip.
So the Cato area is basically Xenia. The Xenia area. But there was a little bitty area, tiny town named Cato.
Where the post office was at.
Yeah, so I think that
we've talked a little bit about Cato.
We have on an earlier episode. You can go through one of our, probably in our first 20 episodes.
Gosh, I don't know. How many episodes do we have?
Oh, I don't know.
What episode is this?
This is episode 3,400.
Woohoo! What is...
We'll get back to you on that.
Let us know whenever you get a chance, because I'm interested. I lost track.
This is around the late 1830s, okay? So this is way before Flora was here, whatever. Flora was founded in 1854, so we're going back to 1830s. In what is now Xenia, there was a little section of Xenia, it wasn't even as big as Xenia, called Cato. And we're going to talk about... First, I'm going to start. This is going to be different generations. So let me go back to James Lawson, okay?
Let's go to James.
He was from Greenup County, Kentucky, okay? And they actually have a copy of his will, and it starts off saying, "In the name of God, amen. I, James Lawson of Greenup County and state of Kentucky, being in good health of body and sound." And it starts off his whole last will of testament. It was written in 1834. This is episode 149. So next week we'll have, maybe we should do something special for 150th.
Right.
Okay.
Like dress up like the 50s.
Yeah, we ought to. Why not? We should do that every episode.
Why wouldn't we do that?
What other opportunity do we have to dress up for the 1950s?
Let's do it.
Okay, so in his last will and testament, James Lawson willed 1/3 of his personal property to his wife, Phoebe. That included 1 horse, a saddle, and a bridle.
Okay.
Another interesting aspect of his wife was the arrangements he made for his slaves. Remember, these people
that's right.
are from Kentucky, okay? Mm-hmm. They end up moving to Illinois, but they were from Kentucky, and he was a slave owner. And so he stated that his woman slave was named Charlotte, and... Well, that's how it's worded.
That's funny. Well, it's not his woman slave.
It's not funny, but
it's not funny.
Funny that they worded
my woman
it.
Slave.
My woman slave named Charlotte was willed her services to his wife as long as the wife or Charlotte lived. Upon the death of his wife.
So wait, back up. Mm-hmm. So literally in his will, he willed a human being. So
yes, he did. He willed this. Not just Charlotte. There's going to be another one here in a minute. Yeah. Willed the because it's property. Wow. This is the same as his horse. He willed his horse. He willed his bridle and all of his saddle
and the slave.
And then also his slaves.
That's interesting.
So sad.
It is crazy.
Okay, but he willed Charlotte the slave to his wife as long as his wife lived or Charlotte lived. Upon the death of his wife, the slave was to be paid a sum of $10 for each year she served his wife until her death. So, I mean, that's something. Well, as long as Charlotte outlived the wife.
Right, yeah.
But it's the 1830s. You could drop dead any day.
Yeah. Do they pay slaves any money at all, or they just feed them?
They fed them, but
they fed them and housed them.
In this circumstance, he's saying
that if the wife dies,
then you get 10 years for every year that you served her until her death.
Okay, well, at least that's up. Okay.
Then there was a male slave named Tom.
Okay.
And he was to remain in service to the family until Phoebe Lawson died. And then Tom and Charlotte were both to be set free and emancipated after Phoebe died. So they had to remain slaves until Phoebe died. Mm-hmm. Do you think that Phoebe died? I mean, it would kind of cross their mind to be like... if we took Phoebe out of this, but they didn't.
Yeah, because, so if they could be freed at that time, so the Civil War's over, right?
1844, no.
When was the Civil War over?
It was in the 1860s.
It was 1860? Mm-hmm. Okay. Because I'm thinking, okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so James Lawson died in 1844. Okay, so he wrote that will 10 years before he died. But they had a son. James and Phoebe had a son named John. And he was the one that later operated a store and worked as the postmaster in what was called Cato, Illinois. So John came to Cato around 1838 and first married a woman by the name of Lucy Palmer. But she didn't live very long. And then he married another woman named Mary Harmon Lilly. Okay, so this is the son of the slave owner. And he ran a store and was the postmaster in Cato. And these were well-liked people. John's store was in Old Cato, and we actually have a picture of his record book I'm going to show you here in a minute of daily sales. But first of all, let's take a picture of John and his wife Mary. That's them. They are. Okay, so this is John and Mary. These were not the slave owners. The slave owners were John's parents, okay? We don't have a picture of them because that was a really long time ago. But this is John and Mary. Now, Mary looks really old.
She does.
And hard. Bless her heart. She's not that old, I don't think, in this picture. Of course, it's not a great photograph because of the times, but also women just worked hard.
They worked very hard.
If she was alive today, she probably would not look as old as she does at such a young age, and she could have makeup on and her hair done. She'd probably look like a completely different person.
Well, and she looks like she's got a bonnet from the pictures I've seen on her head.
Yeah, she's very modest there, covered up. He looks like a pretty nice guy, and I think he was well liked in Cato, John. So he kept really good records in his stores. And the records that they have started in 1840, and he noted names he did business with, such as Henson, Breeze, Scribner, Onstott, Davenport, Songer, Helm, Cook, Fothery. Allen, Pickle, Hoskins, Cox, dozens more. All of these names are still found in our area, so their ancestors go way back. But he has a list of what he sold, what the prices were, all of this. I think I sent in another picture too, Ty, of some of his record keeping. Yeah, let's take a look at that. This is very difficult to read. It's very precise of what he sold and to whom. It's hard to read. I'll go through some of the things I have in print that's easier to read, but just take note that of his handwriting. And what I'm going to read
He's got
isn't
nice
gonna
handwriting.
Yeah, he has nice handwriting, and that's going to come in here in a minute. That there was something else someone found, they were able to match the handwriting. So some of the items and the prices for things in 1840 were 1.5 yards of twilled cotton was 3.5 cents. One pair of boots was $3.50. A butcher knife was 3.5 cents. 5 pounds of coffee was $1. Thread and buttons were 6 cents. One nail hammer was 75 cents. A pair of spectacles was 50 cents. 3 yards of calico was 50 cents. That's about what it would take to make a dress.
Really?
It would be about 3 yards of calico probably. One plug of tobacco was 12.5 cents. A brass kettle, $2.81. That's pretty expensive, really.
I was going to say, for a brass kettle?
You wouldn't have to buy one very often, but like if you were just getting started, you'd probably need one. A tin dipper was 12 cents, like you would dip out water.
Dip out water, yeah.
Or soup, I suppose. But a shaving brush, 12 cents. A Prussian shawl, 75 cents. Pair of shoes was $2. A cake of soap was 12 cents. But it was also noted in the record book that Mr. Lawson would take items for trade. So if you didn't have money, he would do some trade with you. He would trade butter, deer skins. He would give 15 cents each for deer skins. 5 pounds of butter was 62 cents. So can you imagine just churning that butter all day long?
Oh my gosh!
And then you take 5 pounds of it to the store to sell it, and you get 62 cents.
I can't even imagine, because 62 cents is, because even that bar of soap's 12. That cake, they called it a cake of soap.
He would buy 5 chickens for 62.5 cents.
I love the half cents. We're back to the half cent.
Back to the half cents. But he also was like doing a stagecoach thing there. So you could get on and off the stage there, the stagecoach. Because this was right along the path, the Vincennes to St. Louis trace there. So some of the entries were a William Miles to St. Louis. That trip cost him $3.50 to go to St. Louis.
Wow.
To go to Salem cost $1. One passenger to Belleville was $3. W. Harlow to St. Louis was $3.50, and then Mrs. Warren went to Vincennes, and that cost her $3. It's quite a bit, really, to travel the coach.
I think that is kind of.
I wouldn't have figured it would be that much.
I would
figure it'd be like 50 cents, a quarter.
Well, especially $1 to go to Salem.
Yeah.
But only $3 to go to St. Louis.
Yeah.
Huh. That's it. We need to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back and talk more about the Lawsons.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank.
We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online banking, just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be.
Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Tomorrow, Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. We're talking about the Lawson family from the Cato, Illinois area, which is now Xenia, and way back in the 1830s. And it's pretty interesting. We're talking about John and his wife Mary, and he had a store. He was also a postmaster. He was also stagecoach master, where he was the one you paid for fares.
Back in the day, everybody wore hats of many colors,
especially in a small town.
In a small
town,
had
many jobs.
Yeah, because I can't remember who we were talking about, but he was the barber, the dentist, a doctor. They just wore many hats.
Yeah. So this John, he was a record keeper. He had a journal. He kept really good records of his businesses, but he also kept other notes in there too. One interesting thing was his taxable property for the year 1870. So he wrote down like all of his taxable property. Yeah. He had land in Clay County.
He
had 3 horses.
3 horses.
3 cows.
Okay.
One 2-year-old and 1 yearling, whatever that means. 19 hogs, 25 sheep, 1 wagon, and 1 reaper.
1 reaper?
Yeah, reaper. Like that's a combine kind of thing.
Oh, okay. I went Grim.
Grim Reaper.
And 1 Grim Reaper.
Now we know who the Grim Reaper is.
Exactly. We've got it figured out.
But in the exact same book was where all of his sales records were. But anyway, his handwriting was easy to spot, and someone found another journal for Fredericktown, Illinois, and it started on September the 1st of 1848, and it was in the exact same handwriting. So they put it all together, and then they started doing some research on it, and they realized that John had moved to Fredericktown. But we're going to kind of go into that here in a minute. But John Lawson died in 1876 at the age of 73. And there is a copy of his entire will at the Clay County Genealogical Society on the square in downtown Louisville. If you haven't been in there, it's a fantastic place to stop in. They have some books that are for sale, but they have rows and rows of books that are full of Clay County history, family histories, all kinds of
birth records, death records.
Yes, so much stuff.
That's pretty neat.
He wrote his will on February the 9th, 1876, and he appointed his son. His name was John Pleasant Lawson as executor, but he also included 3 daughters, Sarah, Mary, and Sophia. And John Pleasant Lawson, he was a Civil War soldier. That's his son. I think I sent in a picture of him.
That's an interesting name.
Look at this guy. I like the name Pleasant. Yeah,
he looks like a
Civil War soldier, doesn't he? Yeah, that's this 3rd generation, and apparently
he almost looks like Edgar Allan Poe.
You're right.
Do you see Edgar Allan Poe in there?
I kind of see it. If his hair was just a bit darker, and yeah.
Why I can't unsee it now?
Interesting. Okay. So that's John Pleasant. But also in the will that his dad wrote, it stated, if my son James Lawson comes with his claim on my estate, I give and bequeath him $2. Okay, so apparently this wasn't the only son, because this son here that you're looking at, this is the executor of the estate.
Okay, and which one's
this is John.
John Pleasant.
John Pleasant, and he's a good guy. His dad was John. His mom was Mary. They are the ones that ran the store and kept all the good records. It was his grandpa and his wife that were slave owners from Kentucky.
Right.
Okay, but apparently this guy had another brother named James, and he didn't get squat in the will. He didn't get anything, so I don't know what happened.
He must have been estranged from the family.
I'd say so, but they said that if he came in the will, it says if this son James comes around, he gets $2.
Question: was he a Union soldier? John?
It doesn't say, but That's an excellent question. I could look up.
Makes
I could
you
look
wonder
that
because
up.
we're like right on that. Maybe we were. One's a Union, one's a Confederate. So I mean, who knows? Or maybe the other guy, maybe it's just a Cain and Abel situation.
Yeah, I don't know, but this guy looks like a Union soldier.
He looks like a Union soldier to me in that dark
Yeah,
color.
I think he'd be in light gray if he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, they're
Interesting.
Illinois boys. They're kind of far removed from the grandpa that was from Kentucky. I mean,
Right.
that's been a while, and grandpa was, you know, from the old way, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I bet they're Union.
I bet they are too.
So, but there's still descendants today in this area, Lawson family.
Lawsons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So, okay. So thanks for that, Ty. So we're going to kind of switch over to when I talked a little bit about Fredericktown. They figured out that John, not the Civil War soldier, but his dad, had moved to Fredericktown. And exactly where is Fredericktown? Do you know?
I do not know where Fredericktown is.
Uh-huh.
No clue.
So Fredericktown is 4 miles into Marion County, but it's right there along 50, New 50 is what I'm told. New or Old 50 kind of runs together right there, but 4 miles into Marion County. So I think probably getting kind of close to the bottom.
That's right. I was just like that church is there on the south side and kind of that bottoms area.
Yep, and we're going to talk about that church. I believe it's called
Fredericktown.
Woodlawn Church. Okay, so at Woodlawn Church there, which is 4 miles into Marion County, there is a sign still there at the Woodlawn Church, and I think yep, that's it, Ty. Let's show that. This is still there, I'm told. I haven't drove in there to look at it, but it says, "This marks the eastern edge of Fredericktown, a Marion County village and stagecoach stop on the St. Louis to Vincennes Trail during the 1840s and 1850s." So Fredericktown wasn't there very long, but it was there, and it was right there by that Woodlawn Church. So that's pretty interesting. And then Cato, I know we said is kind of where Xenia was, but it was actually
south.
just west of the Howard Knapp place on Highway 50.
Okay.
If you know where the Knapps
So
lived on
Cato
Highway
was
50.
not south. I was thinking Cato was down more like the Zenith area.
No,
So it was
more
west.
It was like at the western edge of Xenia.
Okay.
Okay, so John Lawson had lived in Cato, and that's where he had all the great sales records, ran a store, was the stagecoach master, all of that, okay? But he ended up moving. He saw that there was a need for a merchant in Fredericktown. So there was nobody doing that in Fredericktown. They didn't have a store. They didn't have a stagecoach stop, and he knew he could do it. So he moved from Cato 4 miles into Marion County. And so it was probably only like a 5 or 6 mile move.
Right.
Back then, that seemed like a lot, I think. So at the time, on that St. Louis Vincennes Trail, people were driving cattle back and forth. It was a cattle drive. Can you picture that?
I can't.
Cattle drive right down Route 50.
Right down Route 50.
So St. Louis was the market of choice for cattle in 1840 to 1850. So most of the cattle were driven west to St. Louis. So there was also a need for stagecoach stops along the way. And one place was operated in Fredericktown, and it was said to be run for a while by a drover Hamilton Pate. Okay, so these people that ran these stagecoach places, they were called drovers. Not drivers. Drovers. Everything I've read, it says drover, because at first I thought it was a misprint.
Huh.
It's always drover. So we're going to go with that, okay?
Let's go with it.
So this one was run by drover Hamilton Pate and scout Hudson Parker, okay? Parker lived from 1830 to 1879 and was part Indian and worked as a scout on cattle drives for Hamilton Pate, who lived from 1814 to 1869. So Parker was like super well known that he could leave Songer Township at sun up. So as soon as the sun's starting to come up, he would leave, and he could be standing on the banks of the Mississippi at sundown, a distance of 100 miles.
Really?
Guess so. He's fast. So Hudson Parker is buried in the Parker Cemetery, which is bordered by Skillet Fork on the north and west and the Prairie on the south. The first burial in that cemetery was Lucy Parker, his wife. And I think that cemetery, is that the one that you can still see there on the edge of Route 50, there's kind of that real small old cemetery that you can see from the highway.
I think so.
We need to add that one to our list.
Okay.
I think that's it. And I think that's where these guys are buried.
Yeah, it's about time to do a cemetery run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
which, by the way, these guys should be covered on the cemetery tour ourselves.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
That'd be a cool story to tell.
Yeah.
Of course, they're probably buried in Xenia.
Yeah.
Or did they? Well, you're not finishing the story yet.
This one guy is buried in. They might all be buried in Songer Township. Okay. But this Hamilton Pate, he's remembered. There's a legend about him.
Ooh.
Okay. So his drover business was very successful. So he's basically doing these trips back and forth. Mm-hmm. His drover business. He's the Uber of the 1850s. Okay. And he was very successful, and he would often receive gold in payment. Also for his cattle. Oh, he's driving cattle. Okay. So maybe the drover means also the ones that drive cattle.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's receiving gold in payment for his cattle. And he had a place on his land where he would bury the gold because he wasn't going to put it in a bank.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So he had a place on his land that he would bury the gold, and the only person that knew about his special place was his wife.
Oh, no. Oh, no. She kill him?
No.
Oh.
So...
I automatically go dark.
Mm-hmm. But one day, a neighbor happened to walk up on him while he was securing his treasure, and he was forced to find a new hiding place. So somebody spotted where he was hiding it. Hey, buddy, what you doing over there? Oh, shoot, you're hiding your gold. Sorry, I interrupted. Okay. So then he's like, I got to find a new place. So he told his wife, Nancy, when it got dark that night, he was going to go change the location of his money.
Uh-oh. No.
But something not foreseen happened, according to the legend. Apparently, he did find a new hiding place, but when he was returning to the house that night, he was stricken and died suddenly. So he moved the gold to the new hiding spot
that night.
And then on his walk back home to go tell his sweet wife where he moved it to, he should have taken her with him. He had a heart attack or something, stroke, something, boom, he's dead. Dun, dun, dun. Now nobody knows where the gold is hidden.
So I want.
Okay. Nancy Payton never found the gold, as the story goes, and if anyone else did, they never revealed it. So if somebody found it, they never said it, but she never found it. To me, okay, yeah, it might be hard to find, but also, like, don't you think you could just walk around and see if there was recently something, like a big pile of dirt, like dirt had been moved?
How far was he walking?
I don't know.
You'd have to.
I don't know. Okay, so back to Fredericktown. That's the story of the Pate guy. Back to Fredericktown. It was considered a lawless place.
Really?
Attracting riffraff. And there was a murder of a lady in 1864 while she was sitting in her house, and it was never solved.
Really?
Yeah. So... when you drive through that area, you get into Marion County and you're going down 50, you're on your way to Salem, or perhaps you're in Salem, you're coming to Flora, and you're kind of near the bottoms there where that church is.
I will never look at that any different now.
That was a rough place. Riffraff, murder.
Kind of like Oskaloosa.
Mm-hmm.
Oskaloosa was that way. Mm-hmm. Well, we need to take a quick break, and we're going to finish up on this story.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Pegel's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Pegel Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting to work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
Give me a little lumber. Doors, paint, windows,
electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh, yeah. Give me all your guns, too.
John Lucas.
What?
You better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. We're talking about the Lawsons, and we're talking about Fredericktown and some of the original settlers that were there, and how John Lawson was a good record keeper, and it was really his handwriting that kind of clued us into hey, it was the same guy in both towns, and researched that. But Fredericktown was also known as Dutchtown. Didn't know that.
Well, I never heard of Fredericktown, I don't think.
No. Well, technically it is Marion County, so we don't always dig into Marion County stuff.
Well, my friend Christina Binky Sturm, her grandmother, I've been in that church before. Her grandmother attended that church.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I don't think last time I was there, I was probably in my 20s.
You want to know what my kids call that church?
What?
They call it either the Puke Church or the Puking Church. And I know that sounds gross, but my kids.
Why?
Well, my kids all suffer from car sickness, and they always have, even when they were little. And so we would set out from Flora, and if we were going anywhere like Salem, whatever, yes, we would make it to about there before somebody had to get out of the car and puke.
Crack up.
And so Jason would wheel into that gravel parking lot. And they would run over to the edge, like in the grass or out in close to the tree line or something, and puke.
That's crazy.
And we've had multiple stops there.
There's lots of Cooper DNA there in there.
There is. One day there will be like some researcher that like picks DNA up, and they'll be like, "This is so strange.
This is so strange. One family."
Yeah.
That's funny.
And I apologize to the members of that church, but we never puked like in your driveway or near your building.
Just on the edge in the tree line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How funny.
Can't help it, man. My kids get car sick bad.
Your kids get
I do too.
Yeah,
they get it from me. And
don't
Jason's family is the same way. Like Jason, not so much, but his mom and her sisters, they all get car sick, and I always have. So they got it coming at them from both sides.
Oh, that would be miserable.
But we kind of have a fix for it now, because we can't take Dramamine because it makes us way too sleepy. Even the non-drowsy will knock us out.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a patch that we can wear behind our ear when we travel.
Okay.
So we've started doing that.
You kind of need to do that.
Life-changing.
Life-changing patch. Okay, let's finish up the Lawsons.
Okay, so what put an end to Fredericktown, and why was it only there such a short time, only in the 1840s and the 1850s? Let's think real hard about what happened in the 1850s and how Flora became Flora and what came through Flora to make it Flora.
Gosh, I'm going to say maybe a choo-choo train.
Choo-choo train, the railroad. The railroads came through, and Fredericktown was not on the tracks.
It's like Maysville.
Yep. So the railroad brought life to some towns, and it killed other towns.
Right.
Fredericktown was one that died.
Right.
It went away. It just dissolved. It was basically disaster for Fredericktown, and that was the end of it. People just sort of started moving closer to Xenia, which was now a thing.
Yeah.
And Fredericktown area just didn't
like Maysville, and just think about not far from either thing. That's just how it works.
And it didn't even last till the end of the 1850s. John Lawson ran his store there from 1848 until the middle 1850s, which would be about 1854, 1855 is when the railroad came through Flora.
Yeah.
So there you have it. And all that remains of Fredericktown is that marker there by the church, which is amazing that marker's even there.
I'm glad it's there.
So many places don't even have a marker.
Well, it's got to be the church people, I would assume.
Yeah.
Because it's right on the church ground, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, so that was nice that they put a marker and that they've kept a marker. Because
I would
think
say
of all the
somebody from
towns
the
that
church.
we've talked about that don't even have. Cato doesn't have a marker.
No. Maysville doesn't have a marker.
Maysville should have one.
Maysville
should,
pretty big.
It was the county seat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a pretty big place, but nope.
Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that somebody, no telling how old that church is, or that that's probably one of the original churches that's still in that area, right there. And so somebody, it has to be a family member that decided to do that.
I bet so.
Yeah, we should see what it would take for, because Cato, I mean, these places need to be recognized for what they were. Cato needs one. We hear about Cato, and Maysville definitely needs one.
Yes.
So I'm not sure who you would contact to do that. It
Ty,
has to be the county.
Was that all of my pictures? Yeah. Okay, I made it through all of them. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the story of the Lawsons and Cato and Fredericktown and the Drovers and the gold and everything.
It makes you wonder if anybody ever found. But like you said, nobody. They never said if they did find it.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly where to look, but your brother-in-law has a metal detector.
Yeah, I'll send Bill down there.
Send him out to the suspected place where this gold might be buried. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
To find a hidden treasure.
I bet that would be cool.
Yeah. And I don't know. It doesn't say where he lived or what the location was, but wowzer.
But I would assume it would be kind of close to, but it was definitely in Fredericktown, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can you imagine, though, like, I think if I had a bunch of gold that we were hiding, I'd be like, okay, but this is our plan B. Just know that if you ever dig that spot and it's not, the gold isn't there, just know I moved it to our next, have a plan B to, like, they didn't do that, I guess.
Yeah, he didn't even tell her. So look at the
He was on his way back to tell her and he died.
Yeah. Like you said, he should have took her. Because how would you even, because it's not, okay, so you're going to leave the backyard and you're going to go 5 steps straight, then you're going to take 2 steps to the left, and then 5. How would you even, because it's wooded, I'm assuming.
Yeah. If you've ever been in the woods, like, I'm thinking.
Oh, it don't take much to get backwards.
No, or you could say, that one tree, the one that has the weird arm that comes down to the left. Once you get out in the woods, there might be 3 that are like, well, that one's kind of weird. Which one did he mean? Did he mean this one?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you determine?
I don't know. I haven't gone mushroom hunting for a long time, but anytime I go in, it's like straight. I mean, I don't want to really venture off because you can get turned around in the woods real easy. Even if you just go straight and you look over here and then you turn around this way and then, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Now, that would be crazy. It makes you wonder if anybody ever, and how much gold were you talking?
I don't know. But enough, I would be happy if I even found one little tiny piece of it.
Well, me too.
That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, I'd be, because when we were down when we were in Malta, and we were on this beach in Malta, and I'm a toe in the sand type girl, and always digging through the sand, and I was there and I found a gold, really pinky, like a gold ring.
Oh wow!
A real gold ring, and I'm like, what is this? And I'm just digging. I'm like scoop it up, and I'm just sifting through it, and I found. And you would have thought that I just.
That's cool.
Yeah, I did, and I fit right on my peak. I'll wear it next week. I fit on. Yeah, and it's a real gold ring. It's really really neat. So it wasn't just like it was like kind of cut, kind of grooved and cut in. It was really pretty.
Huh.
And I kept it because it was down deep in the.
Yeah,
somebody lost it there a long time ago.
Been there. Who knows? And the thing about beaches is, if you lose something there, you don't expect to get it back. It might be 100 years before someone finds it.
Yeah, that's definitely a place where, like, my mom, when she had her home down in Panama City Beach, she had a metal detector. Diane used to take it out because you find a lot of stuff on the beach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure.
How interesting.
Yes.
Huh. I don't know. The Lawsons were a pretty interesting family.
They were. Yeah, pretty neat and interesting that you can go so many generations back on them. And I just thought that was a cool picture of them because of the John and Mary, because I just felt like she looked so old and plain, but she couldn't have been. She couldn't have been very old.
Well, but guys, you just watch. Man, they just worked hard. I mean. And they walked everywhere, and people are like, "Oh, back in the day, they used to eat lard and not." It's like, well, because they worked.
Yeah,
we don't work like
that.
They
You
work.
have to have a certain amount of body fat. And
yeah, they worked hard.
Yeah.
Just think what it took to make a meal.
Yeah, no thanks.
No thanks. Wash clothes.
We're going to keep it simple on our cooking show.
We're going to keep it simple. Yes, we are.
We're not going to be doing that.
Yeah, but if
not the way they did it.
Yeah, if you think about that, just doing laundry. I hate doing laundry now just because I don't want to walk in the basement.
I know.
I hate doing laundry.
I don't like doing laundry either.
I don't like it at all. Very interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting. Well, let's talk a little bit about our deep thoughts.
Okay.
Here.
So we always end the show with, here lately, we've been ending it with Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy.
This could get into some discussion here, too.
Okay.
I don't think God put me on this planet to judge others. I think he put me on this planet to gather specimens and take them back to my home planet.
Alrighty then.
Alrighty, so
Okay.
we're not to judge, but he's here collecting specimens.
Collecting specimens.
Could you imagine?
Oh my gosh.
Could you? Okay, this is why I think that you could have some discussion out of this, because could you imagine with the way some people are today, taking them to another planet? I mean, it's almost like when you're watching a Star Wars and characters, with the exception of being monstrous looking or whatever, but just there's some crazy looking people in the world. You know what I don't understand? I don't, and I have tattoos, but they're hidden where you can't see them. I don't understand all the face
tattoos,
and I don't understand piercings. I don't understand all the piercings, like your nose. You know, if you got like that little way, but I'm talking like those things.
I like some of the nose piercings.
The nose,
they look
but
kind of
like
cute.
I'm talking like when they got like piercings here,
all over, and I can't imagine how painful some of those are.
And then you've even seen those big things that like they put those and they stretch out their earlobes and piercing on their lips and
well, I mean, if that's their thing, that's
would
fine
have
with
to
me, because it's not my body. But
it would have to hurt.
I think it would be so painful, and I want to ask people, like, how bad did that one hurt? But I don't want to. I would never want to offend somebody. But I'm just like, I want to know. Like,
well, see, and I don't like the eyebrow here. I think that little Marilyn Monroe is cute. I think that little nose thing is cute. But I don't like it when they do their eyebrows, because God gave you eyebrows for a reason. Because that's a dirty area. It's to catch, you know. And why would you put a hole there?
Oh, I never. And I never thought about it. They probably have never thought about it either.
Yeah, well, I should give them tongue piercings.
Oh my gosh, no!
Your tongue is not clean.
That was real popular in the '90s. Like when I was in high school, a lot of people did that. But I could never, because it hurts so bad when I bite my tongue.
Oh,
like I just can't imagine having it pierced. I just can't.
Me either.
But I did always want my belly button pierced. I always thought that looks cute. But I've never had a flat stomach. I've never done it. But I think it would. I think it's cute.
That's cute. There's this one kid, and he used to come to the shop. This would be the late '90s, and he had his tongue pierced. And when he talked, it would go click, 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 click.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, he would tell me stories, and I would be like, just stop talking. He's like, why? I said, first of all, I'm like, you're going to ruin the enamel on your teeth with that stupid stud in there. Get that thing out. And every time he talked, like, click, click, click. It was just, it was literally like when he talked, me like,
yeah, a lot of people, oh no. A lot of people that had their tongue pierced, you never really knew it unless they stuck their tongue out. He must have had his mouth must be where his tongue hits his.
It did, because like I said, literally like when you talk, it go.
Oh yeah. Oh no. And I bet that damaged his teeth over time.
I bet it did. I'd like to know what happened to that kid. He was a cute boy. But it hit it's like supposed to. I think it go a little bit farther back, but
yeah.
But if you bite your tongue, it'll almost bring me to my knees.
Oh yeah, that's the worst.
Ouch. But yeah, so I don't understand all the face. You know, but like I said, I'm not a prude. I have my ears pierced. I have piercings. Yeah, my ears are pierced. I went crazy one time. I got them double pierced. Whoa. But I like
mine are
big
triple
earrings.
pierced.
I like big earrings. I'm always changing my earrings out and wearing big ones. But anyway, but like I said, I don't. But there are certain things that I'm just like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Kind of interesting. Maybe they watch those Star Wars things and want.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like them people that put like they want to be like a lizard and they put the stuff underneath their skin.
Oh yeah,
to make
some of that gets really strange to me.
Or they
people
cut
that
their
have had,
tongue.
Yeah,
like it's like.
Don't even talk about it. I can't take it. I can't take it. I don't want the image.
Cut your tongue
no, I can't take it.
And then when you're talking, go.
I don't want to talk about cutting tongues.
Well, we're done today.
I can't. It's too much. Too much for me.
On that note, we're done.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. You can always catch us on Channel 100, Catch TV daily at 11. We'll see you next time.
God bless you and have a great day.